Actually, let me first of all take your general thoughts and impressions on the 31st ordinary session of Congress.
I think Congress was well organized, very, very smooth. This year we decided to, lift the game a bit in terms of Congress organization because it's an assembly of the highest decision-making body of the Federation. Either you'd go to Congress and the congressmen and women will be sitting like in classroom with their document and that stuff on their laps, some on the floor. It didn't look good in terms of where we want to take football to. So this year we decided to do a proper conference sitting with tables and chairs, in front of them, so somebody could take down notes and write something with the provision of other souvenirs and other stuff. So you saw the Congress grounds. You were there, a bit different or distinct from the previous congresses that we've held. Beyond that, I think that the business of Congress was also run through very, very smoothly with and very democratic. People decided to abstain, others decided to, object proposals on the floor, and it was very, very democratic. And in terms of how the media even engagement was executed this time around, quite different from the previous ones, when it is that Metro TV, for instance, would have to go there, mount a camera in there, maybe with one camera and be panning it left, right, center, We decided that since the arrangement changed and the room could not accommodate the number of media men coming in, we decided to spend money to do full production. So instead of Metro taking 1 or 2 cameras there, we did like 4, 5, 6 cameras in there with every angle of Congress, produce and stream live for everybody at liberty to take the feed. Max TV, took the live feed of Congress. Others like Metro TV, GH1 were doing live text of whatever happened. Spotty FM were doing live text of what was happening.
Original
TV, Original FM, everybody was doing that. And if you could realize, quite different from the previous congresses, we did like 3 or 4 backdrops for the media engagement. At any point you are standing.
But a number of the media. Okay, let me allow you.
So let me finish. So wherever you're standing, there's a backdrop for you to conduct your interview.
Okay.
And then prior to that, the FA issued a statement that there will be press conference. It didn't happen in the previous one. There will be press conference after Congress, so that the questions that you could ask, then you can come and ask questions. Questions were asked without any barriers, and the questions were asked with the presence of the President, the General Secretary, and the Executive Council, all present for the official press conference. Maybe minimum 50 media men in the room asking questions. So I think that this year's was somehow well organized than the previous ones.
Okay, but people had reasons to complain over the treatment meted out to the media. One was that a number of them were kept outside of the premises for long. When I got in around 9:30, 9:40.
When you say outside the premises, where do you mean exactly?
That's at the entrance of the Ghanaman Soccer Center of Excellence. Okay. When I got there around 9:30, there were a number of media people who were there. So I didn't even drive into the center, but I had to park outside, ask them what was going on, why they were all there, and then they said they had been denied entry. Some of them said they had been there from 7 a.m., had spent about 2 hours and a half at the place. There were those that had spent an hour, 30 minutes, and all of that. But later there were calls, and then they were allowed to enter. Again, the ideal thing would have been maybe giving them the prior information that the media will not be allowed entry into the auditorium to cover the session, the Congress session, but rather a live feed will be provided.
So you could stay at home?
Yes, so some could have come at a later time.
Okay.
Yes, without necessarily having to be there at 7 a.m., 9:30.
Well, but people, normally when we go to cover this, sometimes people go there early for, pre-Congress reactions and, something else. So there were people doing interviews. They conduct interviews before Congress will start. I think that would be unfortunate in terms of the main entrance. I don't know about that. Okay. And I don't know whether they were there too early and the grounds were not open or something like that. So, but they were accreditation for the media. So once it is that you got your accreditation, I think you were entitled to move around freely, entitled to everything that was provided for Congress. So for that one, I don't know about them, because when I entered, I think the media were there with accreditation media, were asking questions, taking photos, taking videos, and everything. And then, if you realize, Monday the federation issued a press statement, to the media that will be a press conference immediately after the Congress itself for offer opportunity to the media to ask questions. We must be shifting towards the standard way of doing things. At the CAF FIFA congresses, the same thing happens. They provide a live feed for all of us to feed on, get our news from, and after press conferences organized, and the media could ask questions. Because during the session of the Congress, media cannot ask any question. You even speak, because you're not entitled to speak.
Even the members do not speak.
Yes, you can only ask questions after Congress. So the same thing. Rather, the FA spent money to do the product so that they can pick it up. Okay. And you were at the Congress hall. You realized that this year's setup was a bit different from previous ones. So there was virtually no space to accommodate all the camera stands.
So the reason for not accommodating the media in the hall, at the conference hall, is basically or purely on the basis of unavailability of space.
No. It's because we decided to do the thing the right way, the standard way. Standard way of organizing the meeting is that the meeting is an assembly of congressmen. After that, everything that we are doing will be beamed live, and then you can take part. And then after, you can ask questions. That is what is done there. And, we must be moving towards that angle. But it happened that because you were saying that people were not informed, probably we could have maybe allowed, in terms of accreditation, allowed the media inside, but there was no space, as you realize. Even the production team, they had to keep some of the equipment outside the
Well, they consider shifting the venue?
We discussed that, to be honest with you. We discussed that the day before it, when the setup was completed and the information came to that there was no enough space, even to accommodate the invited guests, apart from the invited media. There were guests at the right side of. So we had to take out the tables in front of the guests. If you realize, it's only the front one. Unlike the congressmen, when everybody had table and the souvenirs and football and everything in front of them, the invited guests couldn't have that because there was not enough space to accommodate that. So we've been discussing, and jokingly we said that, the regional FA chairman should be bidding for Congress to be happening in the region.
Actually, let's go to days before the Congress. Now, over the weekend.
But I just wanted to put on, my friend Jerry, if you say there are no men in football, I think it's unfair to the people doing football. No men in football. So I think is he man enough than
that is figuratively
at the Congress
speaking.
Or is he man enough than you? Now God FC representative. How is GFA man enough than you? How is he man enough than the people seated there that there are no men at Congress? I mean, how can you say that? In Ghana, I think we normally have this problem that as long as I think this way, everybody must think around that line.
Once we share
look at his opinion,
views.
Saying that majority of Ghanaians, on no basis, all research, I will say majority of Ghanaians, that thing was put to test at the Congress war. Before that, we will say majority of football people. People even said that during the vote on the amendment, clubs will walk out. Name one club that walked out. You understand? Okay. So you assume that everybody must think along your line. You are at liberty to disagree. You are able to have different opinion. But don't think that people must think along your line. And as long as I do not think along your line, I'm not man enough.
Something wrong. Okay.
Come on.
Okay.
That is not what I'm saying. That is not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that people are afraid to come out and challenge the status quo.
But once again, you are disrespecting the people. Nobody are afraid.
Disrespecting the people.
What are you afraid of?
We know people have been cajoled. People
who cajoled who?
Come on.
Mention one name.
This.
But you see, when you do this,
this is not the first time.
Within that,
do you know why people are speaking this way? Do you know why people are speaking this way? Because it is not the first. It is not the first time.
Which people?
A lot of people are speaking. We are speaking in the media.
We are 3 years.
Because it is the same football people who will come back to you and say that, see, this when you go and say it, you'll be victimized.
Tell me one football person who approached you.
Relegation. No, of course, you don't
Jerry,
expect me.
Tell me one football person who approached you.
But we know it happens.
I think it's unfair to
we know it happens.
Listen,
we know it happens.
Football, as you bear witness to, football, there are two things, two main investment. Either you are investing your money or you are investing your time in football. I think that it's about time we should have respect for people investing either their money or their time in football. For us to think that as long as you think that something is wrong, they must go there and toe your line. And as long as they do not agree with you, they think that they are not men enough.
No, I mean, if there is no transparency, everybody can see there's no transparency.
What do you call transparency?
Okay. If there's no transparency, everybody can see there's no transparency. If the whole system lacks, integrity, everybody can see.
Once again, another disrespect to the people there.
What about the system?
Yes.
Portrays the lack of integrity.
The whole system portrays a lack of integrity.
What exactly about the system?
Look at the way the Congress was organized. Do you understand? With people, no dissenting voice. Absolutely no dissenting voice.
That's wrong.
And nobody given the opportunity to speak on the Congress grounds.
That is also, you do not understand it.
Why would you put in place a system that prevents people from speaking? Because we know the history in this country. It is at Congress grounds that people have made in the past. That is where people have stood up and spoken against systems and spoken. It is all, a camouflage, a way, of gagging people. That's why they say, so if you have anything to say, put it in writing, send it to us ahead of time. And so if you send it ahead of time, what will happen before the Congress grounds?
Can I come in? First of all, it is false and true for him to suggest that there were no dissenting views at Congress. It is not true. I think about 3 things were voted on. A couple of them, or 3 or 4 things were voted on, had everybody voting for with no against. But there were 2 issues. One, we had a rep from the referees dissenting. Okay? And even the proposal for amendment, we had dissenting views and people even abstaining. So where is that lack of integrity you're talking about?
When I talk about dissenting, I'm not talking about people voting or not voting. I'm talking about people not giving the opportunity to speak against the motion or make their points. Okay. Speak on the Congress grounds.
When I'm speaking,
people were not giving
I'll keep quiet.
Okay, I'm sorry.
When I'm speaking, I expect him to keep quiet for me to flow. You see, that is also something you do not understand. The provision for the Congress organization is that the convocation document for Congress will be sent to you ahead of time. And there are provisions in the statute and the standing orders of Congress that stipulate so. And if you have objection to any of the things, we are not saying that only the writing would end it all. You say it that this one, I would have something to say about it. So when the time comes, it will not even be you, but the General Secretary will prompt you that you wrote this, and so get up and present your opinion.
Okay.
And what is wrong with it? To govern an organization with rules and regulation. To try and have sanity. In the past, we could go to Congress, 2 people can hijack the Congress from morning till evening. 2 people hijack Congress. Argument in and out. Is that how we want to run football?
If 2 people hijack the Congress, and it is for the good of the game, is there anything wrong with it?
No, but this is also for the good of the game. Present your opinion. Is the reason why the document, in the previous, you would not receive the document even on that time. There were days you go to the GFA, go and pick them physically.
Yeah.
You understand? So if you're not able to go to the FA, it means you come to Congress grounds and we face the document. So you do not have prior knowledge of what is going to be discussed. This one is sent to everybody ahead of time.
And Jerry, please allow us.
And then you register.
I want us to deal with the issues
register
one after
that
the other.
you would, make this submission on XYZ subject.
Okay.
When the time, when it gets to time, they will allow you to make your submission.
Okay. Did the FA, was the FA served any injunction preventing the FA from discussing agenda number 13, which had to do with the amendment at the 31st ordinary session of Congress?
So it's a practice. It's a convention that a day before Congress, the Executive Council will meet and discuss, for instance, if somebody has sent any proposal to speak, somebody has sent counter proposals in terms of the convocation document, then we'll discuss and see how to, go about things. And all these things we met, and there was no any injunction served anybody. Nobody had any idea of any injunction. That's how the Congress, took place.
I spoke to one lawyer, Nyako Champon, who is serving as a member of King Faisal's legal team in the case involving King Faisal and the Football Association over the proposed amendment. And he said that the FA was evading service.
What do you mean by evading service?
That you know that there's a court injunction.
How am I supposed to know when nobody has approached me?
But the news was in the media.
Who? Injunction from who?
From an Accra High Court.
No, but which member?
King Faisal.
King Faisal.
Yes.
And so what was the basis? That the Congress shouldn't happen?
No, that the Congress should happen. But they cited lack of transparency in the
Yeah, but King Faisal was present at Congress and voted on it. So, something that you think must not come on. You voted on it. So if that even tells you that there was no any injunction. So that in King Faisal was present and they voted on it. So something that you disagree.
That could be contempt.
You understand? King Faisal was present and they voted on the subject matter. So as long as we are aware, there were no any injunction.
Yeah, Mike, actually, let me find this. So who was because according to Article 34 of your
the
statutes, somebody has to propose.
Don't worry, we are coming there.
Okay. So it's not the who's.
No, because these are some of the questions we spoke about here.
That's what I'm saying.
These are things that I'm surprised Kobe Jones is not here today because he made that point vehemently.
You can be sure that we'll ask all the questions on the street.
Okay, we'll ask
the questions. Okay. So now, people had that, and King Faisal cited that in their suit for injunction.
Once again, there's no any suit for consideration because as far as we are aware, there was no any suit.
Okay.
King Faisal,
I'm coming.
King Faisal as a member of the Federation, duly discharged their duties,
but
present at Congress, voted on all the...
I have seen the rate of summons. You may have not seen.
You are saying it's from King Faisal.
Yes, and I'm saying that.
And I'm saying that King Faisal were present at Congress.
Yes, and I'm saying that I have seen.
If something's coming on,
let me put the injunction aside. I have listened to Awar Mohammed in an interview where he cites lack of transparency in the amendment procedure. As stated in Article 34 of the GFA statute, a member must propose the amendment. You need 1/3, which is about 41.5. So say 41 or 42 of the FA's membership, also to consent to the proposal in writing to the General Secretary. Now, the FA General Secretary has also said that they made certain proposals to FIFA. FIFA wrote back to them. I mean, there were correspondences. And they feel that this should have accompanied the convocation of Congress.
Okay, so that is their opinion. They feel that the document should have been sent alongside it. Yeah. So if you are a member and you're asking these questions, the right thing to do is to write. You write to the Federation that I've seen a subject matter for consideration or a vote on at Congress, but I do not have enough details. So I want to know XYZ, i.e. the club proposing or the member proposing and the member seconding. The FA will be obliged to supply with those documents.
Okay.
You understand? We must now shift from the way we were doing things and embrace the new way of doing things. All of us have been part of, first of all, adopting this new statute and its accompanying regulations and the standing orders. And we must seem to be, following it.
Okay.
So I asked a day before Congress, asked the General Secretary whether the Secretariat has received.
But again, the same King Faisal official said that they wrote to the FA. They attempted to send an email. That email didn't go through. They sent a manual letter to the FA. New Edubiase have also made that allegation that they wrote to the FA. There were no responses.
New Edubiase was the reason why I even asked that question at the ESCO meeting the day before Congress. Because I saw publication that they said they were going to write. They said they've written. My friend Abdulsalam Yakubu said he was going to write to the FA. You understand? So the night before Congress at the ESCO meeting, asked the GS whether he's received any proposal or differing opinion or suggestion from any of the members for consideration prior to the Congress. And he said, no, they hadn't received anything. Now, this claim back, in fact, I was sending email, wasn't going through. The info at GFA, it is a generic email to receive information from CAF, FIFA, and everybody. How come that one person was sending email and was getting rejected? I want to see, I asked my friend, I want to see a screenshot of the email being bouncing or, the system rejecting the email? And how many times did he attempt? And it's difficult for me to comprehend because it's the email that receives every correspondence from even FIFA, CAF, everybody. Now, various national federations that want to communicate to the FA and all the members, clubs, and everybody will communicate to the FA.
Let me ask you, do you think that we went about the amendment procedure resorting to the best practices? And I asked about the best practices. It may not be against the rules or the regulations or the statute, but I asked about best practices. One, boxing the whole amendment, the proposed amendments together and voting once. Two, the manner in which the voting was carried out, where people had to show by hand. And we've had people, especially those outside of the footballing circles, raise issues with it that they feel there could have been a better way of doing it. Perhaps we could have resorted to secret ballot. And that is where maybe someone like Jerry will use the word integrity, that what by the show of hands may not necessarily portray a more credible way of expressing opinions.
What we don't know or what we don't understand may not necessarily result in lack of integrity. Okay. Maybe you don't understand. In the statute, it's provided for which vote must be carried out by way of secret ballot for election of president and other stuff. And all other deliberations at Congress show by hand. It is there. It's part of
Is that the only means?
That is what is provided until maybe you bring proposal for us to change some of the things. Like going forward, we may have to change the way we vote on issues at Congress. Then it is adopted, we'll carry it. But until then, I cannot.
So you said that the only means of voting apart from the elective Congress is show
Go and
of hands.
Read.
Okay.
That's the procedure. Even how Congress is organized.
Which article do we find that so that we?
I can. But you as a member of Congress, and that's where we normally don't do. We don't read the document they send us or the document available for us.
As for the convocation of Congress, I read everything before I came to.
Yeah, but it's part of it. When have you gone to Congress that an issue on the agenda, apart from electoral Congress, that people will go and write on paper or do secret ballot? When?
Okay.
When?
But do you think it's the best practice?
I'm saying that going forward, we may have to, propose that maybe, this one,
but do you think it has become? Do you think it has become necessary to make that proposal?
Yeah, we can make proposals if the proposal meets the threshold. We'll carry it at Congress, and maybe we change the way. At FIFA and CAF, the hall is high tech. They have the technology to even vote. Even that one is not secret ballot, but it's in front of you. So when the proposals are put out, if you want to vote, you press the note, and it will count openly for everybody to see. And what is more transparent and open than putting on me for the champion? I'm against it. It's transparent. So if it's not recorded, they will know that I'm coming. If it's not recorded, they will know that you voted against. Why wasn't it recorded? Everybody is seeing you.
Okay, but there are those that have said that it does not allow for people to freely express their genuine thinking or position on the matter.
We are an association.
For fear of victimization.
No, I mean, no one is victim.
But you are in football. Do you sometimes hear some of these things that if you take stance against the FA, you could be your team could be.
You
are involved in football. But do you hear? I'm not saying it is the case. I'm asking that. Do you hear some of these?
I could hear some of the things from maybe Jerry, who maybe he has a perpetual stand. He's against the system. So everything that comes, you see the negative side of it. No positivity.
So you have not heard. You have not heard.
That is not true, and that is unfair.
You have not heard that. You have not heard that.
I supported the FA on a lot of issues.
Yeah, if it's unfair to
you, it is only.
Have you not heard that George Fiye made claims that his team Susubribi was relegated because of his stance against the Football Association?
How did that happen? A capacity as a former vice president of the federation, is he telling us and the whole Ghana that when he was the vice president of the federation, he perpetrated in relegating people's clubs because they disagreed with him? Was that what he was doing as vice president of the federation? He cannot say that.
Okay,
because at the federation there's no room for that.
There are other examples that where people who are seen to have taken strong stance against the Football Association today, like Jerry mentioned, are nowhere to be found in the game. There are teams who were either expunged from the Football Association or their teams got relegated. We can mention people like Mickey Charles, Techiman City.
It is your choice.
We can mention Nanaya Amponsa Far Rangers. We can mention Wilfred Osekwe Kupa Matema Youth. We can mention George Akwesi Efriye's Susubribi. So if people cite these examples, do they not have a point to say that when you take a strong stance against the Football Association, you could be victimized?
No. It is because now they are against the system, so they are not even prepared to abide by the very rules and regulations all of us have promulgated, and it's working. So if you don't follow the rules and regulations, the rules would deal with you. Okay. Because they are against the system, they see that, no, I mean, some even go to the extent of thinking that they don't want to do something positive for the sitting administration to maybe end some positivity. And so whatever rule, they are not like, Tema Youth, for instance, you sell a player, everybody sells a player, there's a percentage to go to develop grassroots football. You understand? I have had the opportunity to engage with him, that you need to pay a percentage to the federation to develop. He said, no, you will not do it. You took the matter to CAS. CAS ruled. So if the FA was against you, how about CAS? CAS, because the Kroko doesn't sit at CAF, or any of the executive council members does not sit at CAF. You took the matter, not the federation. Took the matter to CAS. You took a lawyer, they educated over the matter, and you lost. It means that the FA was doing the right thing. And if per that, then you are not able to run the football again, then you say, AOB, so normal, find secretary.